Hi everyone, this is Eldad Amara with my channel Eyes Wide Shut. If you like this video that I'm going to drop now, please like, comment, subscribe and share. Right now on this planet, there's a lot of evil things that's going on, and right now you need to be protecting yourself against some of these things that's going on this planet right now. Evil right now is trying to destroy nature, and I'll say it again, evil right now is trying to destroy nature. You look at the things that they're doing to our food. You look at the things that they're doing to our skies. You look at the things that they're putting on TV. All this fear, all this anger, all this anguish. So right now, I'm telling you, it is very important right now that you protect your energy. Mind the people that you're hanging around with. Mind your work colleagues. Mind some of those family members. And I'm not saying all your friends, I'm not saying all your family members, I'm not saying all of your work colleagues, but there's certain people you know that they don't have the best interest for you. They're only hanging around you so that they can find out certain information and use this information for their own advantage. If you look at the sky, you can see all these chemtrails up in the sky. Some people say, no, there's no such thing as chemtrails. Well, you see some planes and they're flying up in a vertical manner. You know that they're not airplanes, okay? They're not ordinary airplanes. I don't know any airplane that can fly almost vertically, right? And then they're spraying out these chemicals. What is in these chemicals? They've got things like aluminium and also beryllium in the things that they're spraying out. There's a lot of information right now on chemtrails. Go read up on it. You can find stuff on the internet. Chemtrails. They're trying to stop us from growing our own food. They're trying to also block out the sunlight. They're saying that sun is causing the planet to become too hot. So what are they doing? They're using these chemtrails to try and block out the sun's light. And also, if there's no sunlight that's coming onto this planet, it means that you're not getting enough vitamin D from the sun. And what does vitamin D do? It protects your immune system. Right? So they're trying to block out the sunlight, and in turn that has a detrimental effect on our health. Not only on our health, as I just said just a minute ago, it's also on the foods that we're eating, because they don't want us growing our own food in our backyard or in some kind of community environment. So they're spraying all these chemicals which then come down onto our food and damages our crops and our food. If you check out something like weed killer, if you ever notice with weed killers, you spray the top of the crop. You don't spray it from the bottom, you spray the very top of the crop. And then from the top, you see that the tree or the plant will start dying. It'll go down right into the roots and kill off the plants. This is very similar to what they're doing with this chemtrail. They're spraying these chemicals in the air and they're going down into our foods. So our foods spoil. We're also absorbing some of these metals that's in the chemtrails. We're actually absorbing some of these metals, these aluminium, this beryllium and other metals. Now, why would somebody want to do something like this? Because I'm telling you, there's some people that stand here on this planet, they're evil, don't have the best interests for mankind. So their aim is to try and to depopulate, try to get rid of us. So now they're attacking our food. They're putting things in our food such as emulsifier, fluoride, what else? Embalming fluid, red dye 40, and all of these various different chemicals. Also E-numbers. And the fact that we're living in a so-called more advanced society, why is there more illnesses on the planet right now than what there was, say, 40 or 50 years ago? Things such as Parkinson's is on the rise. Things such as Alzheimer's is on the rise, and a number of various different illnesses that affect the nervous system. It is by no accident. The inorganic ones, the ones that's down here on this planet that don't have the best interest for mankind, are slowly trying to kill us off. And not only physically, they're trying to kill the mind, also the body and the spirit. If you look at our water contains a lot of fluoride in it, and fluoride is a mind suppressant. They're trying to stop us from vibrating on our higher self, on our higher frequency, on a higher level. See, fluoride, as I say, fluoride is a mind suppressant. We've got something called a pineal gland, or the third eye. And when that becomes calcified, right, when that becomes calcified, you cannot reach your higher self. And this is what they're doing. They're trying to stop us from reaching our higher self. And they're also doing this through fear, through creating anger, through creating things such as a great divide between society. You've got one group fighting against another group. You've got Muslims fighting against Jews. You've got Roman Catholics, and they're fighting against some other faith or denomination. Right? Not only that, you got family members now, they're starting to have little disputes amongst themselves, and family members not talking to each other. The devil makes evil fair seeming. What do I mean by this? They make evil fair seeming. When you go to the pictures, you want to be frightened, you want to be scared, right? You pay money for this. You are paying in order to be scared. When you go to the fairground, what happens in the fairground? You go there and you go on rides, okay? And on these rides, you're also hoping to be frightened. You're hoping to be scared. The devil likes to make things evil fair seeming. As I say again, the devil is a liar. There's many things that we're paying out for. Tax on your car, tax on your petrol, tax on your food, right? Tax on just about everything. The devil always makes these things fair seeming. You're taxed to the hilt, and when you're taxed, what happens? You need to keep working in order to pay these things off. And the other thing is, with tax, they take tax. They don't ask you for it, they take it. The devil makes things fair seeming. You go to your bank and you put your money in the bank and they give you interest rate. Do you know that most money that is in the bank, there's only about 10% of money at any one time? So what is being done with this money? They use the money and they give it to these big corporations, these drug companies, these companies that create weapons, okay? And they make money out of that, and they only give you a very small percentage of interest back on your money. If you're a smart person, you wouldn't have your money in the bank. You'd invest it into something. And this is what these big banking institutions do. They take your money, which is yours, and they invest it and give it to somebody else, and then they earn the interest off of that. And you, as the person putting the money in the bank, would get very little interest back off of that. The devil makes things fair seeming. They make evil fair seeming. The devil wants to keep us down on this lower vibrational frequency. They don't want us vibrating high. Alright? They've now got these virtual reality glasses. People put these glasses on and then they can see into a different dimension, right? They can watch their favourite football matches or favourite football teams. They can imagine that they're on holiday somewhere else through these glasses, through these virtual reality glasses. They can look into a so-called virtual reality world. Well, what's wrong with this organic world that we're living in? Why do we need to have this inorganic world? This is the world that the devil is trying to create for us, okay? To have us locked in, not vibrating to our higher self, not vibrating on the fourth dimension or our fifth dimensional self, but to keep us locked in on this planet. So they do this through things such as fear. They do these things through things such as jealousy and anger. Do you know that our bodies carry various different frequencies? Okay? And each frequency has a different hertz. Fear is a very low vibrational frequency, and that's the frequency that they want to try to keep us on. Okay? We have things. Let me just show you this emotional chart here. Emotional frequency chart. This emotional frequency chart. Let me try and get this a bit closer. Jealousy carries one frequency. Anger carries another frequency. Love carries another frequency. Hatred, jealousy, envy all carry various different frequencies. And they want to try and keep us locked in on that third dimensional frequency. Let me read off some of these frequencies. Shame carries a 20 hertz frequency. Guilt carries a 30 hertz frequency. That's the measure. Sorry, frequencies are measured in hertz. Okay, from peak to peak in a wave. Shame, as I said, carries a 20 hertz frequency. Guilt carries a 30 hertz frequency. Apathy carries a 50 hertz frequency. Anger carries a 150 hertz frequency. Courage carries a 200 hertz frequency. Acceptance carries a 350 hertz frequency. Love, which is a very important frequency, okay, that carries 500 hertz frequency. You see, the devil don't want people loving each other. They don't want to create things like communities. They want to try and split people up. Divide and rule is the nature of their game, okay? And anger and fear is also another thing which they try and use to try and keep people separated, keep them divided, and keep that frequency low, where we should be trying to vibrate on that higher level of love, which carries a 500 hertz frequency. Then you got joy, which carries a 540 hertz frequency. Peace, 600 hertz frequency. And enlightenment, 700 to 1000 hertz frequency. There's a guy called Abraham Maslow, and Abraham Maslow had this pyramid, right, which he called a hierarchy of needs. I'm not going to go through it. I've got some other videos which I've done on this chart. I've got other videos I've done on this chart, on this hierarchy of needs. But basically, on the basic needs level, you need things like shelter, right? You need food and shelter on that basic level, yeah? On the very bottom of the pyramid. Now, as you work your way up the pyramid, you try to work your way up until you get to the very top of the pyramid, where you reach self-fulfillment needs, self-actualization. This is where you reach your full potential, okay? But the people that's on this planet, the inorganic ones, want to try and keep us on this lower frequency, okay? They want to keep us dependent on them. They want to try and keep us dependent on them. How do they do this? Through the instruments of power, through the television, through the radio, through the newspapers. What else? social media, and a whole heap of other instruments. This metaverse that they're trying to create. They're trying to take us out of this organic planet, this organic reality, into some virtual reality, this synthetic society, an inorganic society. The Most High created nature. The Most High created water for us, created food for us, created air for us, created all these various different fruits and plants and herbs in order to keep us well, in order to keep us well. And things in nature you don't need to pay for, but the inorganic ones, they want us to pay for all of these things. So they're charging us for just about everything, from the water that we drink, to the air that we're breathing, right, to the food that we're eating. And all of these things have been poisoned. You got the devil, the inorganic one, versus the organic one. God is all. The inorganic ones, they're trying to play God. They're trying to get us to follow their rules and their regulations. And as I said at the start of this video, you need to mind the people that you're moving amongst. You need to mind the things that you're taking in, right, that you're absorbing when you're watching television, when you listen to the radio, when you're reading the newspaper, yeah, when you're on social media. And another thing that we don't have much of right now is time. The time that we should be using for ourselves, somebody else has got us in their system trying to work to their time. This video is entitled "An Evil Mind Can't Destroy Nature." You see, you cannot OD off of nature. You can OD off of synthetic drugs, but you cannot OD off of nature, off the things that God provided on earth. It's Amara. Please send me a like, leave a comment. Thank you.